Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
That's my
Let's go
pleasure.
through a couple of quick questions about some of the topics being discussed today.
Okay.
What do you see as some of the impacts or some of the takeaways from the topics being discussed today?
Well, it's very interesting. I think one of the huge takeaways was the fundamental issue of technology adoption. And there's good and bad, and that's what a lot of that's been discussed. But one of the keys is the good is technology's actually improved positive patient outcomes, but potentially at the expense of not so much improving the patient experience. So one of the things that is a good takeaway is what I think all of us need to focus on is continuing to have positive outcomes by bringing technology into the play to make patient safety, patient care better, but at the same time an enablement and facilitating a better patient experience. If we can get those two things together and get more face-time. Now that's one of the things Voalte tries to do is by giving the nurse a very efficient user communications device. The expectation is it makes her more efficient so she can spend more time not with the device but more time with the patient, right?
Okay.
So that's
well, from a vendor's perspective, a common theme that we discussed was involving the clinical staff early on
yes.
the implementation of
yes.
technologies. What advantages does that bring to the table, or what is your stance on bringing the clinical staff in early for those discussions?
It's not just advantageous; it's a fundamental, foundational requirement. This, especially for a vendor, any of the vendors that provide technology solutions to hospitals, you have to involve the clinical staff so that you get a blending of the right kind of technology and use case, but in a way that the clinicians can use it most efficiently and properly. It should be, whatever technology you apply, should be a tool, just like a calculator is to an accountant. It should be something that I can use this as a tool, and when I need it, and when I don't need it, I can put it away. I don't become a slave to the tool itself. I want the tool to be a tool for me, right? And the ideal thing, of course, is making sure that the tool that you're delivering and that they're using is apropos to the use case that they're trying to do. And the only way you know that for sure is direct clinical involvement, collaboration with the clinicians.
Very good. Well, dealing with some of the technologies and some of the barriers and some of the issues that we've been talking about, where do you think healthcare in terms of technology will be in the next 3 to 5 years? What advancements, or where would you like it to be?
Well, 3 or 4 questions there. I think that one of the things is technology is advancing at light speed. So in some of us, certain technologies, certain vendors are sort of on the front end, the bleeding edge, as they sometimes call it. But I think it's good in that if it brings clinically compelling solutions, it improves outcomes and improves patient experience, then we're all doing the right thing. So where I'd like to see it get to is a better fit for exactly that thing. It should be a clinically compelling tool that fundamentally aids better patient care. But better patient care not only means better diagnosis, better treatment, but also means better, care and feeding and loving of the patient itself. And that's what nurses are experts at. We have to facilitate their ability to do that. Same thing for physicians. Physicians they manage a lot of patients, and they need information at their fingertips so they can make better decisions in the treatment plan of a patient. And what I think all of the technologies do is they try to improve that data gathering of, is the patient getting better? Is it getting worse? What's wrong? Is the treatment plan that I started yesterday working? Fundamentally, if we can get that in real time, they can make a decision to either enhance it, improve it, or retract it because it's not actually helping. It's not having the effect they think, and they might take a different decision. And it's better to take that different decision as early as you can in the care process or care model to help them. And so technology needs to provide better information, not more information. Because part of the problem that I've also heard at this conference and other conferences is that we're inundating the clinical staff, overwhelming them almost with so much information, and 10% or 20% of that information is really valuable.
Yeah.
And the rest is fluff or whatever. It's kind of like they talked about alarm fatigue, which ECRI Institute said is like this last year is the #1 technology hazard.
Yeah.
Well, I happen to know because I'm old enough to be here. It's been on that list.
Yeah.
It has not #1, but it's been on that list for the last 4 or 5 years. But the key is just because you can deliver an alarm doesn't mean you should, right? You've got to deliver an alarm in an appropriate manner to the appropriate caregiver, and if it's not really appropriate, like it's a false positive alarm or it's nice information but I don't need to know that right now, that's where the alarm fatigue comes in. So I think all of us need to collaborate with the patients, collaborate with the clinical staff in the hospital, but even the vendors themselves need to do a better job of collaborating with each other.